Al Capone was a man who became famous in the United States during the alcohol prohibition era in the 1920s. The image of him that stuck was not only about money or violence, but about the way he appeared in an entire city as a symbol of power, secrecy, and mystery. Capone was born into an immigrant family and grew up in a city with many workers where life was hard and competition was fierce. From an early age, he learned that, to have protection, sometimes you had to be connected to those who ruled the streets. He was not raised to be a hero or a cartoon villain, but he ended up entering a world where money and authority went hand in hand. Capone's great achievements did not come from actions in a single night, but from a carefully designed network of protection and control. In the midst of Prohibition, when selling alcoholic beverages was illegal, Capone saw a business opportunity. He helped organize a scheme where bars, clubs, and criminals could profit from alcohol, even as the government tried to stop them. This system was not simple. It involved leadership, protection of territories, payments to influential people, and a network that functioned like a finely tuned machine. A striking point in the story was the idea that those who run a city must maintain order to function. Capone created an image of someone who knew how to keep the city under control, even if force was behind the actions. To many, he seemed like a man who could solve problems quickly, who knew where violence could come in to prevent things from getting out of hand. The talent for organizing groups and maintaining a clear chain of command helped him retain power for a time. Still, what remained memorable was not just brute force but strategy. Capone did not rely on isolated risks alone. He imposed rules, created internal codes of conduct among his group members, and demanded loyalty. On several occasions, he used the image of protection to justify actions that kept people under his influence. Amid all this, there was a sense of order amid chaos. For those who already feared facing violence, Capone seemed to offer a kind of protection, even if at a high cost. As time passed, the police, the press, and public opinion began to scrutinize him more closely. The stories spoke of luxurious parties, travel, and a life that seemed to shine, even though behind it there was a lot of shadow. What became clear is that Capone was more than just a criminal. He was someone who deeply understood the dynamics of power, who knows not how, and who could hold the attention of many eyes on him. In the end, Capone was captured not merely for a single specific crime, but for a sequence of actions that ultimately revealed his involvement with organized crime. Justice prevailed, as it often does in human stories. His arrest and downfall showed that, no matter how invincible someone might seem for a time, the law and responsibility can reach anyone. The big lesson of this story is that the past has many faces. Capone shows how an entire period in United States history, the Prohibition era and organized crime, was shaped by the tension between ruling and maintaining power. He was not just a man with great deeds of violence. He was someone who, in a turbulent era, learned to seize opportunities, build networks of support, and ultimately face the consequences of his choices. If we want to understand who Al Capone was, we need to look at the context of the time: Prohibition, a growing city, and the competition among groups with money, influence, and the willingness to take risks. Capone is part of this story, not only for his acts, but for the way he helped shape the image of power, fear, and curiosity that remains in the collective memory to this day.